This film is about elections and explains what happens when you vote. Sweden is a democracy. Democracy means representative government, which means that everyone can take part and decide how our society should be organized. By voting, we choose which parties and politicians should represent us in the Riksdag, the Swedish Parliament, the county councils and the municipal councils. They make decisions about the various things that affect your daily life. The parties and the politicians have different visions as to how the country, the county councils and the municipal councils should be run, and which are the important issues to make decisions about. The parties themselves should inform voters about what it is they want to do politically. In Sweden, people vote every 4 years, and always on the third Sunday in September. In order to vote, you must be at least 18 years of age. In order to vote in Riksdag elections, you must also be a Swedish citizen. If you live in Sweden and are a Norwegian, Icelandic or other EU citizen, you have the right to vote in county council and municipal council elections. If you are a citizen of any other country, you must have lived in Sweden for 3 consecutive years before election day in order to have a vote in county and municipal council elections. So what happens when you vote? About 3 weeks before the election, everyone who is eligible to vote will receive a voting card in the post. The voting card will tell you which elections you can vote in, as well as the address and opening times of your local polling station. If you choose to vote at your local polling station on election day, make sure that you bring your identification with you, such as an ID card, passport or driving license. The polling station will have ballot papers and envelopes. The ballot papers are different colours. The yellow ones are used for Riksdag elections. The blue ones are for county council elections, and the white ones are for voting in municipal council elections. There are also ballot papers without the names of parties or candidates on them. You can write the name of the party you want to vote for on these ballot papers. If you do not write the name of a party on the ballot paper, it is deemed to be invalid when the votes are counted. These blank votes do not affect the allocation of seats between the parties. Once you have the ballot papers and have been given envelopes, you go behind the voting screen to cast your vote. The parties list their candidates in the different elections on the ballot papers. If you wish to vote for a specific party candidate, you can cast a personal vote. You cast a personal vote by putting a cross in the box in front of the candidate's name. You can only put a cross for one candidate. You place one ballot paper for each election in its own voting envelope. You then hand your votes to the electoral officer at the polling station. The electoral officer makes a note in the electoral register that you have voted and places your votes in the appropriate ballot boxes. Done! If you cannot vote at your local polling station on election day, for example because you are away, you can choose to vote in advance at a voting station. Voting takes place in exactly the same way as at your local polling station. You must have your voting card and valid ID with you. A voting station can, for example, be a municipal office or a library. You can vote in advance anywhere in Sweden. The electoral officer places your voting envelopes and your voting card in a large envelope. Your vote is sent to your local polling station. On election day, before the counting of the votes begins, your ballot paper is removed from the voting envelope and your votes are placed in the appropriate ballot boxes so that they can be counted along with all the other votes. Those who are ill, disabled or elderly can get help from a messenger to deliver their vote. You can also vote in advance if you are abroad. Most Swedish embassies and consulates can accept advance votes before the election. As soon as voting has finished, the vote counting begins. On election day evening, the first preliminary results come in. The day after election day, the final count begins when all the votes are counted one more time. If you would like more information, please visit our website www.val.se.